Hey there everybody, Pete here, and yes, it's a new video on the channel. No, it's not a consolation video or a Summer of PlayStation video. As you can see, I'm not even shooting in Retro Central. This is my office. You can see a closet full of jackets and Xbox 360 games behind me there. Um, this video is basically an update to let you know what's going on as far as the lack of videos on the channel and the lack of written content pretty much anywhere. First of all, the videos, because that's an easier explanation. It has been excessively hot and humid here in southern New England over the last week or two. And whenever it's hot and humid, you have to run air conditioning and fans, especially when you live on the top floor of a house like I do. When you run air conditioning and fans, that creates noise. If you turn off the air conditioning and fans, you swelter. And unless you want to see me shirtless like Billy from the Game Chasers, and believe me, you don't want to see that, I just haven't really been able to work out a time to be able to shoot videos like I want to. There are videos coming. I have the ideas in my head, and the heat and humidity are supposed to break within the next few days. And when that happens and I can actually get in front of the iPad and shoot, I will do that. Probably sometime after August 26th is when I'm guessing, based on the latest weather forecasts, but we'll see. But that's what's been going on as far as the videos go. The lack of writing is a completely different topic and one that I'll address right here. Um, I don't want to make excuses. Nobody wants to hear excuses, but I have to anyway because it's the only way I can explain the lack of writing. Um, you've probably heard either through the YouTube channel here or maybe via social media, this has not been the best of summers for me health wise. Pretty much since July 4th up until about August 15th, I have been ill in one way, shape, or form. I caught a rather severe gastrointestinal illness, virus, problem, whatever it was, where I wasn't able to eat, I wasn't able to keep things down, things in my body weren't functioning properly. I thought for sure that the end was coming. That's how bad it was. That finally resolved itself towards the end of the month, towards the beginning of August. Um, and then in August, a complication arose from what I had where I was in a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. And that went on until August 15th when I started to finally feel like I had put that stuff behind me. And now, on today, August 21st, I can tell you I feel as close to 100% as I have felt since May. So it's been a long journey. It's been very difficult. But when you're sick, when you're uncomfortable, it certainly affects your creative output. You certainly don't feel like sitting in front of a computer and typing a bunch of words. And that was pretty much the case for me. I had a lot of ideas in my head, but when it actually came to sitting here in front of the laptop and typing and posting stuff, the ideas just never translated because I couldn't sit for those long periods of time, or my mind would kind of wander, or the medication that I was on kind of messed with my head because it just made me tired. Um, so a lot of things just conspired to where the writing that I really wanted to do this summer just never happened. The last thing that I did, which was a review of Air Combat, I think maybe 5 people read that. So I don't think people are really missing out on the written stuff, at least as far as the website goes. But for those of you that have read it and who do go to the website to visit, I'm hoping to get more new stuff on there soon. Really, what my writing focuses, where those priorities lie, are with the sites that I contribute to, which are Retroware and Hit the Pass. First, Hit the Pass, I just contributed or just submitted a story about, or an article about collecting old sports games. One man's trash is another man's treasure was basically the idea behind it all. I talked about a recent trip to Retro Games Plus in Newington, Connecticut, where a lot of people were buying other games, and here I am with the stack of old sports games. And one of the customers there literally asked me, "Why are you buying all of those sports games? I don't get it." And that's where the genesis, or the genesis of the idea for the article came really from there. Um, as far as retroware goes, I did a piece on the GXTV in July. The next piece that I want to do is my PlayStation 20th anniversary piece. It's a little late now in the cycle for me to be working on something and then get something new posted. because I have to collect pictures to be able to post with the articles and get those formatted. I just want to focus my efforts on this piece, which is really going to be my biggest one for that site to date. So expect that on September 9th. After that, talking about retroware, I've been talking a little bit with some of the article contributors there, the other article contributors, and we want to do some point counterpoint articles. We want to do some roundtable discussions and some other things to create more original content. We're in the process of getting that organized, and once we do, you'll see more, not just from me, but from other writers on that site. So stay tuned for that. As far as consolation.com goes, we'll see what happens with that site. Whether I use it more to amplify videos when I get those filmed and post some post-production notes and other observations, or whether I use it to post just random things relating to retro games. I really don't know yet how I want to proceed. The site obviously will remain. I mean, it's been around since 2008, so I'm not going to just take it down. But things there may be a little bit more sparse because I'm focusing my efforts on the sites that I'm contributing for. Those are where I get the most traffic. Those are where I get the most exposure. So those obviously are the sites that should be getting the lion's share of my writing effort. Whereas Consolation is really my own pet project, my passion project, if you will. So that's what's going on as far as content goes up to now. A fly in the ointment, however, as far as content creation goes, is that unfortunately, unless some miracle happens between now and the next few days, I won't be going back to school this semester, which is disappointing for sure. There was an administrative hurdle that I was not able to clear in talking with campus personnel. We tried to hammer some things out, tried to make some phone calls. Things just didn't work. They haven't worked out. So at this point, I'm looking at getting back into the workforce. It has been a while since I moved back from Arizona, in fact, because once I moved back, I focused on school full time. So this will be a little bit of an adventure, but will also mean, especially if I work a 40-hour plus per week job, that content creation is going to suffer a little bit because I simply don't have the free time to get it done. Those of you who work 40 plus hours a week and try and do the same thing that I do understand. There just aren't enough hours in a week to be able to work, commute, have some kind of work-life balance, do some relaxation, play some games, and do content creation. That's a lot on a plate for a week's worth of time, and I don't know that I can get all of that done. Making videos I don't think will suffer too much because those only require usually about a half hour per week. So I don't think that will be a problem as long as the summer goes away and I don't have to swelter when I make videos. But the writing may suffer a little bit because Consolation falls, as I said, behind Retroware and Hit the Pass on the priority level. Retroware was the site I always wanted to write for when I got back into retro gaming back in 2012. And now that I have the ability to do that, that is where I want to focus a lot of my writing efforts. And as far as Hit the Pass goes, because that's sports gaming related and something I'm very passionate about, I will continue to contribute to that site with written stuff as long as I possibly can. And Rich and Brian have made it very easy for me. I don't even have to include pictures anymore, although that's because I don't have capture software and my pictures suck. But they're very flexible with that, so I just have to submit the words and they do everything else for me. And I can't ask for a better opportunity than that. Because I like to type walls of text anyway, for them to be able to make that pretty, to be able to edit it to where people want to read it, and then put it in front of thousands of eyes is certainly a big help. So while Consolation may be a little bit silent, the website may be a bit silent, Retroware and Hit the Pass will not be. I can guarantee that. No matter what happens with the job thing, whether I wind up working 40 hours or whether I wind up working part-time or whether even miracle of miracles I wind up going back to school, those things will remain constant as the videos I'm really hoping will as well. So that's what's been going on. My voice is growing hoarse because it took me 15 takes to get a video shot that I really liked. But that's where I stand at this point. Fingers crossed that the job fair tomorrow or today works out well, because it's in a field that I enjoy very much and one that I think I'm very qualified for. So we'll see what happens with that. But until then, and until the next video goes up, I thank you very much for watching and for checking out the YouTube channel. I do really appreciate it. And until next time, take care.